beyond the facts. The program created for you as a Nigerian to have your say, a program created to inform and carry you along on happenings in the nation. And yes, I know I sound like a broken record. When we have the time, we have international stories, we do bring them to you as they unfold. Today's program is going to be special. It's a special on the press today because the demographic or the demography is different today. You want to find out? Then stay with us and be part of the discussion from start to finish. My name, Anire, Binitie. If today is your first time watching the show, we have the weather report, we have front pages, which I do solo and act like I know everything. Then we take a break and bring in our guest. And today, the guest is different. Remember, the vibe is going to be different today. You can only find out if you stick with us wherever you're watching the show. So without wasting much time, let us go straight to the start of the show as I begin with the weather. And as usual, we start from Edo State. Let's take a look at Edo this morning. Rainy conditions are expected around 8 a.m. That means it has started raining since 8 a.m. This is past 9 a.m. Now, it is 25 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. at 50% of rain. At 10 a.m. is expected to remain same at 25% Celsius or 25 degrees Celsius, I beg your pardon, at 50% of rain. However, it will rise to 26 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m., though it stays at 50% of rain. Highest temperatures predicted at 28 degrees and lowest at 23. Let's take a look at Delta. Whoa, you can see the pictorial right there on your screen. Delta State today. Rainy conditions will continue all day in Delta. Yes, indeed. If you're in that state, you know how to prepare yourself to ensure you make progress all through the day despite the weather predictions. Now, it is 25 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. at 70% of rain. It will remain so at 10 a.m. at 60% of rain. And at 11 a.m. it will rise to 26 degrees Celsius at 60% of rain. Wind gusts are up to 11 kilometers per hour. Highest temperatures pegged at 28 degrees Celsius and lowest at 23. All right, we don't have Bayelsa or Rivers this morning. Let's just go straight on to Enugu. We have Enugu this morning. Enugu is 25 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. It will rise to 26 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m., rising further to 27 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m. at 30% of rain. Now, rainy conditions expected around 11 a.m. Highest temperatures 28 degrees, lowest 23. Imo, we have Imo this morning as usual. Let's take a look at Imo. Rainy conditions will continue all day in Imo State. It is already 24 degrees Celsius at 60% of rain in Imo. At 10 a.m. it will rise to 25 degrees Celsius, maintaining its status at 60% of rain. 60% of rain also at 11 a.m. at 26 degrees Celsius. Wind gusts are up to 11 kilometers per hour. Highest temperatures pegged at 27 degrees Celsius and lowest at 23. All right, let's jet up now to Lagos. Let's see what Lagos has this morning. It is already 26 degrees past 9 a.m. in Lagos at 50% of rain. It will rise to 40%, drop rather, to 40% of rain at 10 a.m., though it will maintain 26 degrees Celsius. At 11 a.m., it will rise to 50% of rain at 27 degrees Celsius. Cloudy conditions expected around 6 p.m. Highest temperatures 28 degrees Celsius, lowest at 25. We have Ondo. Yes, we're backtracking now. We have Ondo. Rainy conditions expected around 9 a.m. It's already past 9 a.m. It is 24 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. in Ondo State at 30% of rain. It will rise further to 25 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m. at 40% of rain. Maintaining its 40% status, it will rise to 26 degrees Celsius in Ondo State. Highest temperatures pegged at 27 degrees Celsius and lowest at 23. Osun. We have Osun State this morning. It is 24 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. in Osun State. It will rise to 25 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m., rising further to 26 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m. Rainy conditions are expected around 1 p.m. in Osun State. Highest temperatures pegged at 28 degrees Celsius and lowest at 22. All right, let's swiftly move to Abuja. Abuja this morning, partly cloudy conditions from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. with rain expected at 6 p.m. It is 24 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. in Abuja. It will rise to 25 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m., rising further to 26 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m. All right, I think that's all we have this morning on our weather update. So let's quickly go on to the papers this morning, and I will try as much as possible. Okay, we've just been told that we have more weather update, that I should go ahead. Okay, Kano just popped up. Let's take Kano. Let's see what Kano has to offer this morning. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around 10 a.m. in Kano. It is 26 degrees past 9 a.m. in Kano. It will rise to 27 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m., rising further to 29 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m. Highest temperatures for Kano, 32 degrees Celsius, lowest 24. Now, it's in no particular order this morning. Let's go to Kaduna. Mostly cloudy days for Kaduna today. It is 24 degrees Celsius past 9 a.m. in Kaduna. It will rise to 25 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m., 26 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m. Plateau, let's take a look at Plateau, please. It is 21 degrees past 9 a.m. in Plateau. You can see the sun peeking out of the clouds there. It will rise up to 24 degrees at 11 a.m. Highest temperature expected at 26 degrees Celsius and lowest at 18 degrees Celsius. And the last state of focus this morning is Benue State. Benue is 25 degrees past 9 a.m. It will rise to 26 degrees Celsius at 10 a.m., rising further to 27 degrees Celsius at 11 a.m. Rainy conditions are expected around 4 p.m. Highest temperatures 29 degrees Celsius, lowest at 24. Now I can confidently say we are done with the weather updates this morning. So let's go on now to our front pages. Let's see, where do we start? All right, let's start from the Punch. Let's start from the Punch newspaper this morning. The headline story, it says NBA falls EFCC as Osun account freeze sparks row. NBA falls EFCC as Osun account freeze sparks row. We have three riders. Opposition accuses federal government of using EFCC to weaken Adeleke. 10 days to governorship poll. Election timing irrelevant, suspicious transfers, first Osun account freeze, says EFCC as Osun governor kicks. NBA lawyers insist EFCC must obtain court order before freezing government accounts. Now, the Osun saga with the federal government looks, it gets hotter by the day. As you can see, it appears it's not going to lessen in any way. The heat is getting hotter. If you follow the story, Osun has been on the news with the arrest and, of course, the allegation of money laundering and a whole lot of election bribing, just name it. But now AFCC is at the middle of all of the controversy right now with the freezing of Osun State account. The NBA and lawyers have insisted that EFCC must obtain court order before freezing government accounts. We just hope that they actually obtained for the NBA to actually insist that they obtain. It appears that they've broken the law by not obtaining that order and just going ahead. The reason why a lot of people will actually see this as a witch hunt. A lot of people will see this as a witch hunt. They will actually smell and smear the whole conversation in the colors of politics and just continue to dance around that. If indeed the EFCC did not get the right papers or the right order, they didn't follow the law, this indeed will give everyone that impression that this is actually politically motivated. Like the opposition have accused that this is a witch hunt, and it's all towards making sure that Adeleke does not fulfill his mandate, as it were. All right, we have more stories on the Punch. Beside the mast, Tinubu hails military as 308 Kwara Niger abductees rescued. Fake agency probe, Adeyemi rejects closed-door reps quiz. Yes, indeed, we all agree with Adeyemi. He has been vocal. He has said, you know what, call me to answer the questions. Bring the questions on and let me give you my answer. Let me drop names, involved in the scandal. If it is a scandal at all, let us find out. And the person in the eye of the storm has continued to voice, his request, telling Nigerians, telling reps that, you cannot quiz me behind closed doors. Let's be open with it so I can have my say. And we all give our voices to his demand, saying nothing should be done in the dark. Everything should be done in the open where you have the light. Nothing can hide where you have light. The only thing that you can hide is in the dark. And quizzing him behind closed doors is just like quizzing him in the dark, and Nigerians demand to know. WAEC results reveal 38.5% failed 5 key subjects. That is a lot, if you ask me. Bus preaching ban threatens religious freedom, PFN. All right, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The screaming headlines also says, anger as EFCC freezes Osun government account. Anger as EFCC freezes Osun government account. That is on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 riders to the story. This is power abuse taken too far. Imole campaign cancel. Action unlawful, politically motivated. Accord national chairman. It is political terrorism. ADC. State government goes to court. Why account was frozen? EFCC, 15,000 police officers deployed. Right above the mast, Nigeria's domestic economy expanded by 3.87% in 2025, says the CBN. Beside that, troops rescue 308 abducted in Kwara, Niger. Military pressure forces 17 family members of terrorist group to surrender in Borno. Yes, indeed, we commend the Nigerian forces. Oyebanji awards Spelling Bee World Champion full scholarship. Gives students school coach 5 million naira. Federal government to pay outstanding wages award to public servants before mid-August. Makinde Obi blame Nigeria's woes on poor leadership. Female candidates lead as WAEC releases 2026 May-June WASC results. Congratulations to the female, but the results, a lot needs to be done. Investigations carried out. Let's find out where we fell short. And on health, malaria still affecting newborns in Nigeria, says study. I think the federal government should do more by ensuring that new mothers, first time, 10th child, it doesn't matter, immediately they give birth, free nets, treated nets should be given to mothers at all hospitals, be it the government hospitals or otherwise. Mothers should be given immediately they put to birth. They should be given treated mosquito nets, at least. That will not be too much, as dividends of democracy that Nigerians can enjoy. All right, let's move on now to the Vanguard newspaper. We have the Vanguard this morning. It's the same screaming headlines across Vanguard this morning. Outrage greets EFCC's freezing of Osun government account. Outrage greets EFCC's freezing of Osun government account. Why we froze account, says EFCC. You want to find out, then pick up a copy. Away from that, above the mass, federal government orders payment of civil servants' outstanding wage award before August 15th. NIGCOM revokes Nigeria's reinsurance's license. Federal government to deepen consultations with Catholic bishops, SFG. Dangote refinery drops PMS to 1,165 naira per litre, diesel to 1,570 naira per litre. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the Daily Trust. We have the Daily Trust. Daily Trust, the same story. EFCC freezes Osun accounts 10 days to election. Above that story on NIGCOM, presidency to deepen consultations with Catholic bishops, others. 176 choir abductees regain freedom after 6 months in captivity. Now, the numbers are beginning to shift. One paper says 308, another says 176. This is where we have problems. So, the numbers never tally on the front pages of our papers. Protests in Lagos, Abuja over insecurity hardship. Yes, we shall be taking a look at that, but from a different angle this morning. There's a set of people, different ages, who will come in today. They're already here. They're seated with me right now as we take a look at state of the nation. Insecurity is definitely going to be part of our discussion. The Guardian. Let's take a look at the Guardian as we begin to wind up. Adeleke APC bicker over fraud, vote buying plot, intimidation. That's on the Guardian newspaper. Same story across all papers. Osun 2026, Adeleke APC bicker over fraud, vote buying plot, intimidation. Away from that, Shaware Group protest in Abuja, Lagos against hardship insecurity. Shaware Group protest in Abuja, Lagos against hardship insecurity. 4 oil firms grow profits by 185% as revenue hits 5 trillion naira. All right, are we done with the papers? Let's take a look at the Daily Sun. We have the Daily Sun this morning. Daily Sun, Osun government cries foul, heads to court over frozen bank accounts by EFCC. Action political, terrorism reckless, ADC accord. All right, let's go to the Whistler. We have the Whistler this morning. The Whistler has a different story. It says NUPRC eyes over $30 billion investment from 22 offshore projects. That is on the front page of the Whistler. Above the mast, Lagos Calabar Highway misplaced priority, won't pass Ekbe, Donald Duke. I had a story this morning on my way to work, and I'm like, no, this is not true. It's just the federal government. If this information is coming from the federal government, because it's not a government, we're not quoting the government here, we're quoting Donald Duke. If there's any truth to this, it be as to get to. Lagos Calabar Highway misplaced priority, won't pass Ekbe. I don't agree with Donald Duke. It's not possible, right? Nigerians, it's not possible, right? Okay, let's move on. Agriculture, manufacturing left Nigeria's business index to 5-month. Lift Nigerian business index to 5-month high, says report. Agriculture, manufacturing left Nigeria's business index to 5-month high, says report. Ikeja, Abuja lead as Discos generates 208.15 billion naira revenue in 1 month. 10 days to Osun Guba, state governor drags EFCC to court over frozen account. All right, let's take the first daily newspaper. We have the first daily newspaper this morning. 176 freed from kidnappers. Mass rescue as victims regain freedom in Kwara. NAF kills 12 insurgents in Borno airstrike. 17 Boko Haram family members surrender to troops. Obi condemns attacks on Catholic bishops. The Matrix, we have the Matrix. Let's quickly take a look at the Matrix. The Matrix newspaper, Akume, Tinubu ready to strengthen ties with Catholic bishops, others. And on the sad note, Nollywood actress Temitope Oshoba dies after cancer battle. All right, the Daily Monitor is the next. The Daily Monitor is our next paper. It has the same screaming headlines. Adeleke drags EFCC to court, alleges political persecution. Tinubu's reforms responsible for firm's stronger financial performance, says presidency. We're moving on to the Daily Champion. The Daily Champion newspaper. The Daily Champion, after 6 months in captivity, 163 Kwara abductees regained freedom, 145 others rescued in Niger. New Telegraph, screaming headlines. We're picking screaming headlines. New Telegraph newspaper, presidency knows Catholic bishops mirrored current realities, says Sagi. Presidency knows Catholic bishops mirrored current realities, Sagi. All right. Nigerian News Direct says Adeleke heads to court over alleged EFCC freeze on Osun government account. That is on the Nigerian News Direct. The blueprint. Let's take a look at the blueprint. How 308 Kwara Niger abductees regained their freedom. Tinubu, Lord security personnel urges early warning mechanism. Army places 60 million naira bounty on ISWAP leaders. Community policing key to tackling nation's insecurity. Sultan. 15,000 police personnel deployed for Osun August 15th governorship poll. And that is our last paper this morning. Yes, indeed. It is our last paper. If you just joined us, you've missed the weather, you missed the front pages, but welcome, because after the break, we'll be having our conversation. I did tell you that the demography or the demographic this morning is different. You want to find out? Stay with us after the break. Yes, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. If you follow the press on the show, we bring guests to discuss issues from the front pages of the papers or issues that concern us as Nigerians. We bring doctors, professors, we bring the elderly, we bring a particular demographic on the show to discuss issues. But today, we're taking a look at the highest number of the population in Nigeria, those who rock the streets, those who carry the voices of the nation. We're taking a look at the youth as they're coming this morning. We'll take a look at the state of the nation, youth analysis, matters arising. We'll be taking a look at governance. We'll take a look at education. We'll take a look at insecurity, health. We'll take a look at our living conditions. We're discussing the nation, but from the eye of the Nigerian youth this morning. But you know the way we do it? I begin with my analysis as we begin our discussion. So let's start. Now, since the signing of the Not Too Young to Run bill in Nigeria in 2018, the simmering issue of the involvement of the youth in the political space of the Nigerian state has burst into public political consciousness. The Nigerian predicament has a youth dimension which since independence has not been adequately attended to in the light of what we often regard as the big problems Nigeria is facing: ethnicity, religious fundamentalism, economic underdevelopment, and so many others. It does not yet seem to clear to us that the youth represent a veritable bulwark between the horror of the past and the brightness and possibilities of the future. The youth of any nation represent a major human capital asset which the nation can harness for economic and development purposes. The demographic profile of Nigeria favors the argument that it is dangerous for any nation to ignore the largest segment of its population, especially if that segment is below 35 years of age. This is because the youth constitutes the workforce of any nation. What is considered the youth bulge in demographic studies refers to a population phenomenon in which the largest share of the population comprises children and young adults of working age. All right, this is our discussion this morning. As I do my introduction, I have in the studio this morning a lady, Emenyionu Adaku Angel. She is a mass communication expert. Angel, it's so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Ma.
And Mr. Umunna Ephraim Chigozie, a photojournalist and social commentator. It's so nice to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, you have my guest in the house today as we take a look at the state of the nation, youth analysis, matters arising. All right, let us begin. I'm going to start with the young lady. We're talking state of the nation. I bring guests on the show and I ask them to give us an inkling into what they're feeling about Nigeria. And I'm going to do that again this morning as we start our discussion, as I ask you very subtly, what is your state of mind about Nigeria with all the focus that we shall be talking about today?
Okay, good morning. I'll be talking about, firstly, governance. Yes, I see that we, the youths, we feel that the nation has actually failed us, the government has failed us. Yes, that's our feeling, and we are not happy about that. 46% of us still feel that we can have a better country. We can have a better country if we have a good government. So the thing is that we are talking to our government to please assist us. We have the talent, we have all that we need with the youth. All we just need is their support. Yes, we believe that there can still be a new Nigeria. We still believe in that. But the government are failing us. The government are really failing, and it's getting to us because some of us are believing on traveling out of the country because the country isn't safe anymore. We can't build and see what we are building. So that's what I can say for them.
You can build and even see what we're building. That is, even when you try to build, at the end of the day, all efforts put in seems to diminish or become non-existence.
Yes.
So that's your feeling on the state of the nation. And you actually started on governance, that the government of Nigeria, present administration, you believe that the Nigerian youth has not been carried along. No dividends at all. All right. The young lady has set the tone for our discussion this morning, but I'm going to give the gentleman the opportunity to let us know, get a peek into his mind on the state of the nation. So, Ephraim.
Yeah. Looking at Nigeria now, I feel like the youths are gradually being left behind. The youths are the future of the country. We are the ones who eventually take over the country. So the fact that we don't have a government who is backing us, we don't have a government who looks to better the country, putting the youths at the forefront, it's not really a progressive something. It's not really a progressive thing. So the government should, in as much as you are leading the country, you should carry the youths along. We should be part of the policy making. We should be part of the decision making in the country.
So the federal government, is it just this government, or is a feeling of, if you look back, it's like a tradition where the Nigerian youth is actually not being carried along in governance and in policy making, in your opinion?
Yes, it has been like that for a while. It's been like that a while. The government has mostly been of the the slightly older men of the society. The youths are giving little to nothing options to partake in this decision making. We are majorly excluded from partaking in the decision making of the country. So I feel like if we're given the opportunity to, in as much as now we're being given more opportunities to partake, if we're given the opportunity to at least hold more power in the society, I feel like we can make a very decisive change. Yeah.
And now I want you to comment to what he had said. He talked about policy, why it is important for any government, especially our focus is the Nigerian government, why it is so important that the Nigerian youth is brought in, given the space, the chance. Because during elections, when you go to the poll, apart from women, you see the Nigerian youth. Every day they cry about youth electoral apathy or whatever. But you actually see the Nigerian youth come out en masse to vote, to bring in this government, and at the end of the day, there's this feeling of being left out. How important is it for any government in Nigeria to ensure they give a larger percentage in terms of policy making, making sure that they listen and have input from the Nigerian youth, in your opinion?
Okay, in my opinion, I think this should allow them, because we Nigerians, we have a lot of talent built in us. Even the government knows this. They know that they have a lot of talent inbuilt, but they are not giving them the space to explore, to show it out. And this is one of the painful things we the youth are experiencing now. We have a lot of things. They don't want us to shine. That's what I think. They should please allow us to shine. Yes, to shine. Please, they should allow us to shine. It's one of I think this Gen Z, there's a lot coming up now, and I can see there's a beautiful future ahead. All we just need is the platform to shine, because they are all covering the spaces. Look at the government seats. They don't want any of the youth, and even if a youth comes out, there's no encouragement. So I just think that's right.
Okay. You want to add something?
Yeah, in as much as we should be given the space to shine, right? I feel like the infrastructures are not there to back us up.
Yes.
We have youths. Imagine a youth going to the university and studying for 4 or 5 years. Let's take the course of medicine, for example. He studies 4 or 5 years in a course, and he comes out and there is no available job for him. Let's not even talk about the availability of job. There's no attempt to open a space for him. So this youth might seek, in as much as to make ends meet, he might seek to try other options. You see somebody with a degree in medicine, a degree in these very nice courses, but he's going into business or going into all this other just to make ends meet. So if the government prioritize the youth first, I feel like we'll be able to do much more. We'll be able to explore. We have innovation. We're innovative. We have opinions. We have very creative. So, but we're not given the chance to grow. We're not given the chance to spread our wings. There's little to no availability to youth to do such.
That brings us to unemployment.
We'll gradually move in. I can see that my guests this morning, they are really charging to go with everything they want to talk about on State of the Nation. They must have done their research very well, and the platform given to them to come here and air their voices. What we're saying is that those in authority, those who should listen, because this is serious business. This was not done by accident. It was planned to bring this youth right here today, Thursday, so they can have their voice heard. And I'm thinking about doing this now and again, getting youth to sit on this platform and air their views on topical issues. I didn't want it to be too deep by going straight into the papers, but let them talk about the state of the nation from their eyes, how they see it, and that's exactly what we're doing today. We'll take a short break. When we return, the phone lines were opened. We want to quickly open the phone lines so we can have callers call in. We have the full interactive session today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back. It is still the press and I have a full house. Please let us display the phone lines so that our callers or our calls can begin to come in. We want viewers in the house to, especially the Nigerian youth, we want to hear voices. In fact, I don't want to hear any big baritone this morning. I want to hear young people call in and be part of the conversation today. Today is your day. Like one of my guests said, the lady in the house says, you know, they don't want us to shine. You have an opportunity to shine today. Please, sir, madam, give the phone to your son, your daughters, so they can call in and be part of the conversation as we take a look at State of the Nation, Youth Analysis, Matters Arising. All right, I'm going to start with you, Angela. I started with you before the break. I asked you guys about, you know, your state of mind on the state of the nation, and you started with governance. And of course, Ephraim didn't even deviate from that. He went straight on to discuss and talk about the government. And you immediately wanted to talk about what? Unemployment in the nation. Let's talk about unemployment, even though we're going to go back to governance. In your opinion, how do you think the Nigerian youth are faring? Those who have gone to school. Ephraim was telling us how, if I ask Ephraim what you read in school, should I put you on the spotlight?
You can, sure.
What's your discipline?
I'm a theatre art graduate.
Theatre art graduate. Okay, it's similar because you're into photography now. Okay, so a lot of people read. In fact, right here in KAFTAN, we have people who read different profession who are now into broadcasting. They came in as coppers or youths, came in to do their youth service, and KAFTAN Television gave them the training, all kinds of training, and retained them. Guess what? They didn't run away. They stayed. And we have people who read agricultural courses, people who read biology, people who did different kinds of courses now infused into the system because this particular company gave them that opportunity to be gainfully employed. So let's talk about unemployment. How do you think the Nigerian youth is faring right now?
Okay, from my general view, I don't think they're happy. We are angry. We are angry. The beautiful thing about Nigerian youth is that wherever you fit us, we align. Wherever we fit, wherever you put us, we can cope. So the government is actually using this back on us. That they can cope. They are angry about it. How it's painful for you to go through the university, starting from the secondary school, your struggle, coming out, knowing full well that okay, my parents didn't actually have the money to do all. Then you now go through the school, the secondary school days, the university days, and you thinking coming out that you will have a better job. So you now keep on, then you now come out as if you don't know what you're doing, because what you read in school, you can't find a job for it. Most of the graduates are on the street. They are riding bikes, riding cabs, and all of that. It is not actually nice because there is no job. There are no spaces. There are spaces. I can't say there are no spaces. There are spaces, but they are occupied. They are occupied. They should allow the youth to occupy those spaces and see their potentials. Let us come out because we have a lot of talent to explore. Because the thing is that we are angry. Yes, ma'am.
Ephraim, Angela says the youth are angry because the Nigerian government oftentimes see and believe that they are talented and of course they can survive any condition, they're resilient. So you won't believe we have a call. Ephraim, you have to hold on. Let us take our first call. Your television, please walk away. Good morning. Walk away from your TV or switch it off because there's an echo here, please. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Okay, please, when you decide to call into the show, please make sure your TV is switched off or you're far away from it so there's no echo. We can have meaningful conversation. So we've lost that first caller. We hope that you call in. We're expecting more calls as we discuss Nigeria today from the eye of the Nigerian youth. So, Ephraim, I want you to react to what Angela has said. Is it true that Nigerian youth are angry in terms of employment or unemployment in the nation, and why?
Yes, we absolutely agree with what she said. Unemployment has been a serious issue in Nigeria. We the youth were angry. Let's use what she said. We are angry. Imagine somebody going to the university to study pharmacy. Okay.
Sorry, Ephraim, please, let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. I called earlier. My name is Idris Abdulkarim. I'm calling from Sokoto.
Go ahead, Idris.
Thank you very much. And I really enjoy the conversation going on. It's a heart-to-heart talk from our youth. I am 56 years old, middle age, and I understood exactly the venom that they are pouring out before us on the television. As a leader myself of of the Nigerian Green Congress, New Green Congress, a movement actually that was meant to register as a political party, but presently forming partnership with Prince Adewale Adebayo Fixed Nigeria movement. It is our intent to ensure that we inculcate good governance in Nigeria. Everything they are saying centered on good governance. It's because we don't have patriotic Nigerians with the heart of good governing. I think that is why we have all these problems. Greed, power, embezzlement, and a lack of fear of God. All are factors that have emanated out of the set of people we have ruling us today. The youth should not feel discouraged. I am very, very optimistic Nigeria will get it right. The only problem I have with the youth is that even while the options are before them, they find it difficult to go for that option. Yes, money plays a vital role, but if they choose to get up on their comfort zone and decide to choose among these presidential candidates and form a strong alliance, I think they can bring down even the mountain. It happened during.
Thank you so much. The youth can bring down the mountain. That's what our first caller, Idris Abdulkarim, told us all the way from Sokoto. Idris, we appreciate you, for the call. We do hope that more callers will call in and air their views and add to what the Nigerian youth are saying today. So I'm going back to Ephraim. Angela says the Nigerian youth are angry, but someone has called to tell us this morning that the Nigerian youths can bring down any mountain. So I want you to continue on your discussion.
Okay, so I picked something from what the caller said, right? He said something about he has like an issue with the youths, that there are spaces, but we are refusing to go for it. I want to lay an example. I want to lay an example before you. So my mom works with the government, right? So there are a couple people in her office that have been coppers. I've known these people for quite a while now. These people are not staffs. These people are, let's echo it, these people are called boys. They are there, they are waiting, they are working, they go to the office every day, they are working, because with the hope that eventually somebody will retire and they will be able to fill in that spot. You understand? When you have been there, when you are familiar with the people in charge and all that, you'll be able to fill in that spot. So there are opportunities. I will agree with that. There are opportunities in the country, but these opportunities are preserved for the people in charge of these opportunities. Now preserve these opportunities for people who they are familiar with. Exactly. Imagine me coming out of the university now. I have the degree. I have the results to show that yes, I'm able to finish for this job. And that space eventually opens. Let's say somebody eventually retires from the office, and I go for it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm able to do this thing well. They prefer to give it to somebody who is known to them, somebody who they can.
Family members,
yes, family members, friends,
families. Okay.
So these are the people who gets the opportunity, who gets the opportunity, who gets the offer. Then the rest are left scrambling for what is left. You see a youth who studied something very significant. You see a youth who studied, let's say, medicine or law, and he goes around and he's busy doing, let's say, real estate management, or he's working as an assistant to, or there's even a friend of mine who did law and she's a secretary in an office. So the opportunities are there, but they are enclosed, they are hidden. They are preserved for a few. They are preserved for a few. So I don't totally disagree with what he said, but him citing that there are opportunities and we're not able to grab these opportunities, that's totally wrong.
Do you agree with what Ephraim said?
Yes, I wanted to say that.
You want to react to what he said? Yeah.
So I will just add to what he's saying. Those people, most times they don't actually have the degree. Those people, they try filling those spaces. Most times they don't. They're not qualified. They're not qualified for it. They're just going to fix them in. Now pick the graduates as the assistants to help them. Then what are you doing there? I don't see any value of what you're doing there. Just leave the space for those that can actually handle that position. So please, they should please attend to all these things, because we are not finding it funny at all.
Okay, so let me come back to Ephraim on his take on employment or unemployment. That was where you were before the call came in.
Yes.
So please go ahead.
So the employment opportunities in the country are little to none. This is based on, we're bringing it back to the government, lack of infrastructure. So there are organizations that employ, but these organizations have failed, and they are not new emerging organizations that are coming up to like create spaces for the large amount of youths that are coming out of the university every year. So these people are left unemployed. These people are left unemployed. You made an example earlier where you said someone from biology, someone who studied biology, someone who studied all these different disciplines, who come into the office, they come to the NYC, let's say at the office. Yes, they are trained there.
Camera, handling,
and they are retained.
To read the news, but, you know.
And then they are later retained. And you see these people here. It's not like they love the job, but they don't really have an option. Imagine you spending a year at the office and you leave, and then for 2-3 years you're not doing anything. You're unemployed. So the one you have now, my dad used to say something like, if you don't have what you want, use what you have to get what you want. So the one you have now, you use it onto something better eventually. That's the prayer comes along.
I'd love to say something. Yes, talking about the Japa syndrome, this brings us down to youths, because they are not allowed to use their certificates. So they just take it outside the country, find their way, go outside, then they find where they can actually explore, where they can actually use their certificates. That is outside the country, where they are made to do their what they have actually studied in school. So this should not be. Let us remain here. There should be a platform for we youth to remain here and use our certificate, build our country. We shouldn't take these things outside the country. You see, mostly Igbo men, they are going outside to build companies, organizations, which are meant to be in our country to make it a better one. They should please allow us to build it, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. The phone lines are opened as we take a look at State of the Nation, Youth Analysis, Matters Arising. The youth are focused this morning. They carry the voices, they carry the number. And, you know, this was planned to actually get a feel of the Nigerian youth speak their minds on the state of the nation. We've talked on governance, we talked on unemployment. Now we want to go somewhere very sensitive as we talk on insecurity in the land. And of course, we're taking a look at this topic from the eye of the Nigerian youth. Ephraim, your state of mind. Okay, we have another call. I hope this is a different person. It's not Abdul. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. It's still Idris Abdul. I think Mr. Ephraim got me wrong when I said there was an opportunity out there. What I actually meant is that in governance, the election, we have a young man full of life in person of Prince Adewale Adebayo, who is trying to come in to rescue Nigeria. Why are the youth not buying out? There are opportunities lying out there for them to, pick out of. But you will be shocked on that day that youth will line up for the same people who have disappointed them. So until the youth are able to harmonize themselves together and be focused, especially in an electoral process, they will still not get it right. The issue of security that you are about saying, because I might not call it again, let me just quickly go there. The issue issue of security, I think the late Abacha made it clear that violence that goes on for 24 hours in the nation, the government must have a hand in it. So there's no way we can debate this. We know very well that our armies are complicit. They know how much they are generating. They know what they are doing. Anytime they choose to stop it, they will stop it. The idea of courses to read from the university, I'm also an educationist. I want to assure you that the courses we read does not tally with the industries we have in Nigeria. That's why we say we are producing graduates that are not employable. Until we shift from the curriculum we have today in line with what we actually want as a nation, we are not getting anywhere. And that is why we continue to produce students who will jump as a
Okay, thank you so much for clearing, the air on what you said, and of course Ephraim's reaction to it. You said two things that we picked in. We're talking insecurity, then of course towards 2027, the role of the Nigerian youth. We're going to talk about that, but let us, go at it step by step. So Ephraim, I'm going to give you the right to talk about, he has explained himself. I hope you accept his explanation.
It's very
okay, so insecurity from your eye in Nigeria.
Okay, insecurity at the moment, at this point, insecurity is a very big issue. Insecurity, lives are being threatened, not just across the country, but even at our doorstep. You see the things happening all around us in Abuja. There is, what do they call them, the one chance. You cannot just take a public transportation from here to somewhere else without you fearing for your life. So insecurity has become a very, very big issue in Nigeria. But that one aside, also, the government is not doing anything.
You feel the government has not done nothing?
The government, they are making attempts. They're making attempts, but they are not curbing the situation as, how do I say it? As expected. Yes, the result is not it's just on paper. We're going to protect. This is that. This is that. A passing.
But what do you think government is not doing in terms of insecurity? What are they not doing that you think is affecting your demography? What are they not doing? Because you just told us now that it's difficult. Personally, before I came to Abuja, when I was transferred to Abuja, I was like, oh. Because in my mind, the impression we get for those of us outside Abuja is like, on the streets on a daily, people are kidnapped. One chance, that's the impression. I'm like, oh, I was discouraged from coming here. But I got here, it's not as bad as, it's not as bad. Though we hear incidences happen on a daily, but not as terrible like we thought. What do you think the government should do or hasn't done to curb, to bring this situation down, especially in Abuja, where you stay?
Okay, so firstly, we're looking at job creation. I feel like if there is adequate employment opportunities, if there are more employment opportunities, it will lessen these cases of, you eventually end up in a very horrible scenario, or these insecurities, or this robbing, or all this other stuff. Two, the funding, we should talk about funding. The security, let's talk about the police department. Police departments are not adequately funded. The police department are not stationed. The posting of the police in Abuja is not really anything to write them about. You can take a car from, let's say, we're at Katampe. Let's say you can take a car from Katampe down to Kuba, and you don't see any police station, any security station. So it gives these people the free will to do whatever they want
and get away with it.
Yes.
Because the spacing is that's what you're talking about.
Yes, the spacing is not there. So this posting of these officials around the let's talk about the city now. It helps. Providing of job opportunities, it also helps. Enlightenment. I feel like if you enlighten these people on things they can do, I feel like these people, majority of them, illiterates, or let's not call them illiterate. Let's say they are not, they don't have the,
they're not educated
they're not as educated enough to know of, like what the caller said, their opportunities around. So they are not educated enough to know of these opportunities, to have an idea of these opportunities. So if there are campaigns, these forthcoming campaigns, if there are campaigns that we teach these people, that we teach people on what to do, how to do it, how to go about your daily life, how to make an ends meet, it should reduce the level of insecurity in the country.
Okay, I would disagree with him.
Okay, why?
Because I will not say they are not enlightened.
Okay.
They are. There are jobs. The world has been exposed that you can actually do anything with your hand. But when you are doing it, you are not getting enough money from it.
Okay, that's where the problem is.
Yes, that's where the problem is. I am doing this, but I'm not getting. It's not fitting into my earnings. I'm not earning enough.
Okay.
Yes. So because that's why I see people going into banditry. There are skills you can do. There are lots you can do, but you are not getting enough from it. You understand? That's why they go into banditry. They know that is paying more. In fact, some people go ahead faking their own kidnap. You understand? That's how it is, faking, because they know that, okay, definitely millions is coming out of it. So I don't think they are not enlightened. I think they are enlightened. The information is at your tip. You understand? So the thing is that they should just try to maybe increase the salaries of these jobs. Yes, for those working. That's to actually encourage. How will I be going? I'll be working as a secretary and collecting 50K, 30K, which is not going to even pay any of my bills. And bills are increasing. Fuel is rising. Things in the market are increasing. It is not encouraging. So that's where I think the problem is.
Okay,
yes, sorry. Sorry, but don't you feel like this increasing of salaries, yes, you made a valid point, the salary should be increased and all this, but I'm not talking about the people working.
Okay.
I'm talking about the ones without jobs. These are the people that actually go into these, you mentioned banditry, let's talk about banditry. They actually go into this banditry. These people that are not enlightened, these people that actually, they want to make a quick buck. They want to make a quick buck. So you like delegating for increments of salary. Yes, that's a very, very good point. We are actually suffering in this country. But you should hit the nail on the head, or you should point who the blame belongs to. These people that actually go into this banditry are, mind my word, but they are illiterate. They are not enlightened. They don't speak. Majority of them don't speak English. So you find that these people now maybe just go into they went into the basic educational system, that is the primary schools, and they stop because of lack of funding, because of there's no money to continue further their educations. So the fact that there's no money for them to make a living, that's when they eventually go into this banditry.
Okay. All right, I'm getting the feel. Please, the phone lines are still open. Please call in and be part of the conversation as we take a look at the state of the nation from the eyes of the Nigerian news. We have other things we want to talk about. We want to talk about health. I'll come back to you, Angela. Taking a look from your eyes, the health, Nigerian health infrastructure, as it were. Taking a look, how would you say we're fared?
Okay, talking about health. Let's start with the sickness, this malarial stuff. It's everywhere. Children are suffering. It's now feeling as if the drugs that are being administered are not even working anymore. They're not effective. Okay. Because, should I say, enough equipment are not given to these organizations to produce. Like looking at the hospital, I went with my mom last week to the hospitals, and they said the doctor is not actually around. He comes once in a month.
Once a month?
Once a month.
For the reason you took your mom to the hospital, the doctor that was supposed to attend, the specialist.
Imagine that. Yes, and the person is in Nigeria and the person is outside the country.
He's gone to look for dollars.
You imagine that while your country is suffering. So now imagine the queue and imagine those that are injured. Will they still survive till when the man comes? And if the man comes, they cannot see more than 10 people that day.
Out of the list.
Just imagine how the struggle is actually much. When you have your money, that's one thing again in this country. If you have your money, they can actually keep a call through. Okay, the person has the money, so the person is coming there actually for the money, not just one person, and the person is gone. So if you don't have money and you're sick, you're only in God's hands. That's all I can say concerning this health issue. It is actually drastic. You see people dying unnecessarily. And again, talking about unqualified people because they need more hands. So they actually invite people that are not even qualified, attending to others' needs. So they start going down again to education. We don't have more quality. Teachers are not giving their best. People are just seeing it from the outside.
So now, talking about teachers not giving their best, there was this video that I saw on social media, and the teacher was asking state and capital, Sokoto, Anambra, was asking the child to recite state and capital, and the child was Sokoto, Anambra, Edo, Umuahia, Lagos, Ibadan. And someone was walking past and said, teacher, the children, how can you sit there and just continue to, encourage the children to go on, and you're not making any, stopping them and letting them make the correction.
Yes.
And the teacher turned and said, look, that child is going to continue like that until our salaries are paid.
Just imagine.
That child, the teachers will continue at that level until our salaries are paid. I have goosebumps just saying that, referring to what you've said. Ephraim, please come in here. Health in Nigeria.
Okay, so the health sector is actually not where it's supposed to be in the year 2026. The health sector in Nigeria is very, 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 very low of where it's expected to be. You go to school, you study, you go through the stress of studying medicine. Then when you're done, you go, one again, back to job availability. There is no employment. So you settle for the ones you have. You go to, let's say, public hospital, and your pay is it doesn't match the standard of the course you studied. You're being paid very, very low amount for that course you studied. And it's not like there are doctors and there are plenty doctors in that place. You might be the only, when I went to, I went to Suleja General Hospital to do something, I think it was for a checkup with my mom a while back. The eye doctor that was there were only 2 eye doctors, but if you saw that queue,
the crowd.
If you saw the crowd, everybody were waiting. People sleep over at the hospital just to get an appointment.
Just to get to their turn.
Just to get their turn. These are general hospitals. These are the ones that the masses can afford. If you go to a private hospital now, there's a higher chance for you to actually meet a doctor. But the prices they will call for you, you might spend your salary on just an appointment. So there is no job availability. There is no money in the health sector. That's when this Japa syndrome comes into place. I'm studying medicine. This is a very good course. This is a course that pays. This is a course that can change my life. But I will not take it into the health sector that does not offer me anything in return. So at this point, I'll go outside the country because there are countries that are actually looking for these jobs, these qualifications. So if you go there, you get paid better. So that's why graduates are running away from. They are jappering away from Nigeria. You see doctors, you see nurses, you see lawyers, you see students actually running to make it better. They are going for greener pastures. So the health sector, how much was even allocated to the health sector in the budget last year? I think it was not up to 10% of the national budget last year was allocated to the health sector. So the health sector is failing. If it's something that can be done about it, then it's very,
You guys have painted such grim pictures this morning. I was thinking I'll get something different. I brought a male and a female thinking, one would say, give us light at the tunnel, like Nigerians. Trust Nigerians now. Nigerians now say, look, we're not our own light.
Tunnel does not have light at the end.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. Going forward, we're going into the tunnel with our own light. And that's the picture that you guys are painting. Now, if you talk about all of that, let's talk about standard of living. Let's talk about standard of living. Angela, how are you coping? How is it? Because now we get, when we as a presenter on the show, front pages, we get statistics reeled out that Nigeria is working. We get youth statistics. Inflation has dropped. Inflation. We have success stories. Those are we read them on the front pages of our papers, even though most times what we hear on the street is different in reality. I would really want your take on living conditions in Nigeria.
Okay, I will still say that the beauty of Nigerians is that you're flexible. You're able to fit in because the government does not care. They don't care how you're faring. So when you're able to, you have a skill aside from what you studied. I think you're able to survive. That's how I advise the youth. Just try as much as possible to have something you're doing.
No, I want to come back because you said it under your breath. That's how I'm doing. What are you doing to survive?
Okay.
You know, to make sure that you don't get into trouble, to keep yourself busy, to make that extra cash, to ensure that you're able to meet your need as a Nigerian youth.
I'm a fashion designer.
Okay, you make clothes.
I make clothes. Try to make sure that I know who. I don't just make anyhow clothes. I depend on Boo mostly. So I look for, as I'm just an advice to the youth, just look for that aspect of just create your own because I know, yes, because there are different fashion designers. So you just need to be creative and find your own customers. I think we're actually creative. I can't say to Nigerians that we are actually creative. What we just need is that enlightenment, just as you said.
How did you go into why did you decide to look outside the box to care for yourself? Where we talked about unemployment. You see, you shout unemployment, no job. You're not even properly. You're still in school. You've not gotten into that market, but yet you're able to create opportunity for yourself and earn extra money. What gave you that push and that zeal?
Okay, I just thank God for the kind of parents I have. Okay. Yes, and the kind of society I find myself, because they are the type that my parents are the types that show you ahead. Look at what's in front of you. Look at how it is. Look at how it is over there. It's not actually easy. So you need to prepare
for the future.
For the future, because the country is not even encouraging if you say you want to depend on them. So you need an extra thing to depend on. They put me through that. The training. Okay. Look at it here. Even when I was thinking it was like it's too much. Please let me go now. I actually thank God for that.
That's wonderful. Yes, so you're making some small change, right?
Yes, definitely.
That's wonderful. I hope the Nigerian youth is listening. When you talk about unemployment, you have to create if there are no opportunities, you need to create opportunities for yourself. Even while I was in school, myself and my siblings, we sat down fine. Our parents give us alawi when we were going. You won't believe it. We hardly touched our alawi. We had savings right from there because we're able to do things. I'll go to school with a hair tongue. I don't know how to braid, but when you braid, you come to me, I tongue the hair. So I look for people braiding, people who need to tongue their wigs. I do that. My younger sister is into, she makes hair, she does braiding. She taught all her kids now, they're into that business. So she will do that. I sold t-shirts, I sold slippers. I had my brother will go to Balogun and buy canvas, fairly used canvas, shoes and jeans, which he will sell, and we're living big on campus and just flexing. So you must create that opportunity even when you don't have one. So Ephraim, standard of living in Nigeria, because of course you've proven it by looking outside your profession into photography that you're doing to make a living. But let's talk to the Nigerian youth and take a look from your perspective how it is out there. Okay,
so as a youth that is outside university, she gave her opinion as a student. As a youth that is in the labor market, firstly, sleep is an illusion.
Sleep is an illusion.
Sleep is an illusion. We don't sleep. But other than that, as a youth in Abuja, let me bring it back home. As a youth in Abuja that you're living alone, I work 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet at the end of the month.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria, you work 2 to 3 jobs.
Hope you guys are listening, Nigerian youth. There's one here. 2 to 3 jobs. 2 to 3 jobs. Just to make ends meet in a month. Firstly, you're looking at rent. Your rent at the end of the month, you see, okay, let's talk about self-contained. Self-contained now goes into the hundreds of thousands. Just a self-contained in not even a hugely developed city like Maitama or inside the town. Let's talk about Kuba.
you're paying 400,000-500,000 a year just to live in self-contained. Then there is feeding. Your feeding is there, then there's your upkeep and other. You also have to save as a youth. You have family, you can have younger ones. So imagine trying to make all these things under, let's say, a salary of 70,000 or 80,000 naira. It's very, very, very hard. It's frankly quite impossible. So as a youth, I work 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet. I'm mostly into media, but I do other things on the side. I'm into tech too. I do a little of tech and some menial jobs like that just to make ends meet. So the standard of living in Nigeria as a youth is quite hard. It's not, if you know your way around, it's not impossible. But it's quite hard. But we're in our 20s, so we're trying to make a name for ourselves. Like you said, have a skill. When I was in school, when I was in the university, so I studied theater arts, right? So when I was in the university, I take my 100 to 100 level. A majority of my classmates were, if you were in the university in theater arts, you see that 60 to 50% of what we do is performance. So dancing, acting, and all these things. But I looked into the Nollywood industry. The Nollywood industry is occupied. Is filled, but it's not the best. It's not the best. We're still lacking in some areas, but everybody going into this thing. But me, I'm in school. I'm a student. I'm looking to get a master's degree in this course. But there are people who did not go for this degree. They just went into the field directly. They are already there trying to make a name for myself. So I figured, okay, what is something in this industry using my degree that I can do that is not as populated as acting. So I went into media. I edit, I do graphics, I do After Effects. So these things have been what have been sustaining me. These things help me get a job. These skills help me get a job. I know my classmates who were serious with the acting. Now they are not acting. They are doing other things to make ends meet. Yes. So it's the standard of living as a youth is you will survive. It's just surviving. Try your best to survive. Nigeria is in transition, so we're trying to get better. So as a youth, you should just survive to eventually things will get better.
Please, because of time, talk to the Nigerian youth. I'm going to give Angela the opportunity because we've finally gone down to the basic, which is you talking to your constituency, as it were, talking to those. You use yourself as example. Angela has done the same. Those waiting for white-collar jobs, what do you have to tell them?
Okay, so to the youth, right? The future may look bleak now. It may look not really good. But hang in there. You should hang in there. You should keep fighting, keep pushing. Keep doing whatever you're doing now and be proud of what
should they do? What should they do?
The jobs you're doing, the little things you do to make money, the little things you do to sustain yourself, keep at it. Eventually, things will turn around. Eventually things will come around. So keep at it, keep up the hard work, don't go into crime, don't go into something that will implicate you later in the future, and by God's grace, it will eventually get better.
Angela, what do you have to say to the Nigerian youth?
Okay, I will first of all commend those that are actually trying their best, because it's not actually easy. I want to say well done to them, and also to those that are still trying to find
their bearings.
Yes, they're still trying to. They should try much. There are beautiful opportunities that you can try. If you don't see anyone, look for that thing that you know that you are best, you're good at doing, and I think we can do better. Yes, try, as Mama said here earlier, use your light, because the hope in Nigeria is we don't see the light. We can't see it. Our hope has been dashed.
There's no hope.
Yes, there's no hope. Our hope has been dashed already. So just try and find. It's not easy, actually. It is not easy, but try your best. Always tell yourself that you can do it. Yes, because I know outside country, what we are facing here, most people cannot survive. Okay. But we here, we can. So you should just keep it up.
Okay, time is not our friend. There's a way I do it here. When I bring the older folks, I tell them to speak in their language just in 30 seconds based on all that we've talked about for the day. Ephraim has told me from the onset that, look, is Igbo, is not that tush. So he's going to speak in Pidgin English. Ephraim, you know where your camera is. All that was spoken today, just your final talk on the matter.
So in pidgin, okay. My people, good morning, good morning. As we approach 2027 elections, do your best, make we come out, make we vote. We had a caller earlier who spoke about coming out to vote the right person in. So I beg, make we turn up, make we vote, and God will help us. We'll elect a better person this time. Thank you.
Angela in Igbo, please. That's your camera over there.
Okay. My people. So I'm say unu gbalikwa na-eme ihe ọbụla unu na-eme. Unu na-agbalikwa na-eme ya maka Chineke hụrụ n'anya. So God bless us all.
Is that all you have to say?
Yes.
You sit me local. All right, I want to thank my guests for coming on the show this morning. Of course, I want to also appreciate our friend from Sokoto, Idris Abdul Karim, who called in from Sokoto twice on the show. Yes, my guest, Adaku Angela-Mass, mass communication expert. I appreciate you on the show. Hope to see you again. I hope you will come when I call you to have your contribution. And of course, Mr. Umunna Ephraim Chigozie, who is a photojournalist and social commentator. Ephraim, it's so nice to have you on the press.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Our topic, State of the Nation, Youth Analysis. They did do justice to it. We thank everyone behind the cameras who made today's production possible. And of course, my thanks to you who watched the show. Nigeria is what we call home. It's the greatest nation. Together, let's make it work. I am Anire Binitie. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Back in the day, headlines sold newspapers. Today, they dominate your phone screen all day, every day. Welcome to The Press, the program where headlines don't just scream. They speak and we listen. Every day, we take a deep dive into the bold, bizarre, and sometimes baffling headlines making waves across newspapers. From front pages to fine print, we break down the stories behind the ink, digging deeper, one headline at a time.